Welcome, Pisces. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I pulled for you the Knight of Wands as your overall energy as I am thinking about the Mercury-Venus retrograde cycle. It's happening simultaneously, which is not that unusual. Mercury and Venus are the two planets closest to our sun. The moon is not a planet, otherwise I would include that. But they are, so it's not unusual for them to be mirroring each other to some extent. Venus began in early March, retrograding back through Aries, then into Pisces, then will turn direct, I believe, in Pisces to move forward into Aries again. And Mercury is a shorter cycle, not much shorter. It has just turned retrograde in the last couple of days. It's moving through Aries until back into Pisces, and then it will move forward again into Aries again. And so they're both about done towards the end of April. They technically move out of their retrograde phase by the middle of April, but the going back over the shadow period is a whole nother experience of opportunity. This is about the way you are valuing what you've learned, the changes that you have implemented in your life, within yourself, and that you are experiencing in the world. And it also describes the way you are thinking about it, the way you're communicating about it, and the way you are making plans as a result of that. Because this is coming on the heels of the total lunar eclipse, this is very much about elevating those qualities, our emotional strength, maturity, sensitivity, awareness, and our intuitive consciousness, so that we are essentially honoring the gifts of the goddess. That is our ability to reflect, to identify what we've learned, what wisdom we hold about who we are, and that realignment we're experiencing between who we've been and who we are now aligning ourselves to be. This is a huge transformational shift for all individuals as well as for the planet, quite obviously. And so it takes, this is part of the way we are gifting ourselves with how to process this, how to understand what changes consciously we've made at many different levels of consciousness. So in order to plan, to implement, to be a force to exercise our powers, we have to understand and identify with those next steps that are important. I do want to say with the Knight of Wands, you are already in a cycle, an experience of exploring who you are and what your inspiration is, what your values and principles are, how you are motivated by your spiritual truth. And this is really about finding the solutions to your everyday challenges right in the present moment. You are already roaming and exploring your various interests, but you will find your answers in the present moment. You don't have to go too far out into the future. This is a general reading, Pisces, so it isn't going to resonate with all of you. If you're interested in a personal reading, information for that is in the description box below. I appreciate all of you for liking my videos, sharing my videos, for subscribing to my list. It is important to me. I cannot do what I do without your support. So I deeply appreciate all that you do, whatever you do. I feel it all. So in your present, I have pulled the Love card from the Soul's Journey Oracle. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. And this is important because I do believe that you may be experiencing less settle in your experiences than you have wanted. I do believe you wanted to have firmed down something or have started something of your very own, whatever that means to you by now. But what you're finding is a series of opportunities that helps you explore the possibilities in your field of activity, your professional field, in whatever way your skill set, in whatever way that has meaning and value to you now. You're having to experience environments that demand different things of you than what you would be demanding of yourself. And this is helping you grow. It's helping you fit or suit what it is you do, your service, your product, to new and more expansive audiences, customers, clients, students. So this is giving you also the opportunity to see how someone else does what you want to do. So there's almost like a mentorship embedded in this opportunity for you, one that felt a little bit deflating perhaps initially, but now you're actually recognizing the value of this opportunity, and it is really giving you more than you could have possibly hoped for in terms of your eventual ability to establish something that is your own business, your own organization, your own team. I'm clarifying that with the Seven of Pentacles, and this is really reinforcing the idea that you have evaluated how much progress you've made so far. This is something you care about. This is your soul's path. This is something you've invested a lot of energy into, quite probably training, experience on the ground, a variety of experiences. And what you have long come to an understanding of is that you aren't getting the value, the reward, the recognition that you want to get, that you may feel you're deserving of. And instead of kicking and crying about it, you are appreciating that you have gained far more value, that this ends up being a golden opportunity to better understand and strategize how to invest in yourself. This training, this experience on the ground is giving you access to more skills, more overall strategy, more leadership than you might have imagined it would lead to. You're seeing someone else do something you want to do. And this is particularly valuable to you as you evaluate how you've progressed and better ways to invest your time and attention. In the past, I have pulled from the Wild Elemental deck an animal, the Phoenix. And I'll read a little bit more about this set of qualities or attributes that you are modifying at this time in order to best maximize the opportunities at your disposal that are available to you. And the Phoenix is associated with the element of fire, which is consistent with your overall energy. This is about inspiration, spiritual ideas, spirituality, consciousness, awareness, supporting others as you wish to be supported. And the Phoenix attributes are listed as rising from the ashes, death and rebirth, keeper of the fire of creation, transformation, and walking boldly on a difficult path. A mythical figure, the Phoenix is able to burn and regenerate from its ashes, not a gentle process. This is an act that always leads to a transformation. Do not be afraid. If Phoenix has come into your life, allow what is happening to unfold. Know that you are strong enough to stand in this fire and come out on the other side transformed. So this energy is definitely something that you are taking and modifying. You're considering with the influence of Venus and Mercury, how to modify this energy in order to extract the most value from it at this time. How is it being implemented in your life? What does it say about your progress, the possible progress you can make, the possible growth that's available to you? And being mindful that this total lunar eclipse, which is highlighting the qualities of emotional attunement, intuitive awareness, the gifts of the goddess regarding the ability to reflect through time and space on your experiences and the position, the place of belonging in the world that is appropriate for you, that you are uh, planning this out in a way to fully understand this major transformation that you're making, this major adjustment to a new version of you, which means you will be experiencing things differently. This total lunar eclipse of a few days ago will be followed in September by another eclipse, and in March of next year by the third and final eclipse of this particular cycle. So the full moon in Pisces last year would give you a clue as to some of the illumination that you are working out through this process. This is clarified by the Death card. Wow. So obviously, I think many of you are aware that the Phoenix is considered an emblem of death and rebirth, and that more often than not, death is really about rebirth. Endings are merely opportunities for new beginnings. And I think you're understanding that cycles that you have completed that left you feeling depleted or frustrated by the lack of support that you were able to receive. No lack of expectations of you, no lack of the expectation that you would conform to the status quo or the rules in some way. But when it came to helping you, supporting you to create your own individual iteration infused by your own gifts, that has something that you've totally surrendered to. You have completely allowed yourself to let go of things that don't serve you, including relationships. And that may, for many of you, have been the most difficult or most visible symbol of the changes you've experienced. But through that letting go, you have opened yourself up to a whole new lifestyle, new way of life. Some of you have moved, some of you have taken new jobs, and this probably happened sometime last year or the year before. This is definitely within the last few years that you have experienced this transformation of physical experience. So your body is different in some way, or your sense of adjustment to this new version of who you are, living through a new skin, so to speak, is part of what the eclipse cycle is making tacit for you, making clear and tangible for you. In the future, I've pulled the smoky quartz, which is describing your root chakra, which is the ability to survive, much like the phoenix, rebirth, coming out of the ashes, death and rebirth, and that connection to the ancestors. And the key word here is strength. Strength comes from your connection to the root of your being. And again, I emphasize the connection to ancestors. They sort of help us to come in, and then they help us to blossom, to lead us, to guide us, to help shape us, to align us with our spiritual gifts, our mission here on earth. And this is clarified by the Nine of Wands. Can't remember who got this. I want to say Cancer got the Nine of Wands in a similar position. However, this describes a way in which you have been strong, been the strong one, how you've understood the gentle strength you have that has surfaced, emerged, and been resilient over a long period of life. This is about your resilience. You keep coming back to this desire to express and experience your own will, your own creation, to build something that has your mark on it, that expresses who you are. You've put everything into every effort you've made along the way. You literally thrown yourself at this over and over again, and you are wearied. You are disappointed at times, but you are more determined than ever. You're not going to stop. You're not going to give up. I love that about this card. And the kind of beat upness is some of what is you are learning to surrender. The idea that these are all hardships and you have to get through them. And not only have you gotten through them, but you've helped others get through them too. This is one of the ways that you know you are extra strong. You are extra flexible in your ability to withstand so many changes and always come out on top in some way or another. This is you absolutely understanding that this is a unique transformation that is creating you in the vessel, in the embodiment that you want. That is about experiencing your emotions as validation for the path that is right for you, making choices that are validated through your open heart, through your willingness to play, to connect with people deeply, to stay connected with yourself deeply, and to never relinquish your goals. Pisces, thank you so much for your time. If you've enjoyed this content, please check out this video. And until next time, namaste.